Hi Year 10, welcome to your first cooking from home tutorial. Let me know how this goes. I'm going to give it a shot. If there's things that I can do next time that make it easier for you to see, or anything that I can do that will make it a little bit more engaging, please just let me know and we'll talk about it in Microsoft Teams when we're on together next week. Today I thought we would just make a basic butter cake to look at the creaming method and use some ingredients that hopefully most of you have at home if you want to give this a shot. Of course, there is no obligation to cook while you're in lockdown with your families if you can't get access to ingredients, but if there are things that are lying around at home and you can get creative and do something or take a twist on a recipe that I present to you, that would be fantastic. So in saying that, let's get started. All right, so first of all today, guys, I've got out all of the ingredients and we are going to start with our butter. Actually, before we do anything, what do we need to do? We need to wash our hands, especially at this point in time. So make sure you wash your hands. Really good scrub, as always. You'll notice I've got my apron on today too. Drying them off. And let's get started. So the first part of the recipe is, as always, preheat your oven to 180 degrees and lightly grease a round 20 centimetre muffin or cake tin. So I've just traced and cut out my baking paper to stick on the bottom, and I'm going to just get a little bit of spray oil and over my kitchen bench, lightly spray just the sides so that cake is nice and easy to come out when we flip it over. Alrighty. We need to beat our butter, our sugar and our vanilla extract together, which is the creaming method. Before we do that, guys, I want to show you with the butter, when you get a whole block, they are in a 250 gram pack, and on the sides here, you will see that every so often they'll have 50 grams listed 4 times along the butter. So we know if we need 50, 100 grams, 125 grams, exactly where we can cut. It makes it a bit easier. So today we need 125 grams of butter. So out of the 250 gram blocks, we're going to cut it straight down the middle and in half. I've had the butter sitting out for a while now to soften and get it to room temperature. The same with my eggs. Always when we're baking, it's good to have our eggs and our butter at room temperature. Okay, taking off the paper. Now I can feel that this butter still needs to be a little bit softer. So all I'm going to do is I'll move this down a little bit so you can see. Up here, I'm going to just slice the butter into some little blocks like we do at school. And then I'm going to put it into a microwave safe bowl and soften it in the microwave for 10 seconds. So butter's chopped up into little cubes into a bowl that I can put into the microwave. Remember, no metal ever in the microwave. And I'm going to literally put that in the microwave now. Okay, so the butter is nice and soft now. I put that in for 20 seconds in total, chopped up into 2 centimetre cubes, and that seems to have softened it really well. We now need to add our sugar and our vanilla essence. So into my mixing bowl, because I'm going to use the mixer in a minute, I'm going to put the butter. In it goes. I'm going to put a teaspoon of my vanilla extract. In that goes. And we need 3/4 of a cup of caster sugar. Let's see how we go. We're at the end of the packet here. So, remember just to shake and level off. 1, 2, 3 times 1/4 gives us 3/4. Obviously you could use 1/4 and a half cup as well. So, all in here together. Let's go over and start the mixing. Okay, so now for the creaming method. In goes my butter, sugar, vanilla extract, and on we go. Now when we are creaming, we are incorporating the sugar and the butter together, and what this process is doing is it is actually adding air bubbles into the mixture. The mixture gets more volume and lighter in colour and a bit of a creamier consistency. just add my 2 eggs into the mixture. Before I do it, instead of cracking the eggs straight in, where the shell can get in, I'm going to just crack the eggs into a bowl, separate bowl, and literally then I don't have to worry about shell getting into any of the mixture as I tip it in. Alrighty, so turning your beaters on to a nice slow speed, and gradually you can add the eggs. So the mixture's looking really wet now, almost a little bit curdled, and it's meant to look that way. It will start to come together once we add the flour. Okay, so here's my sieve. I'm going to literally place it on top of the bowl, and in goes 2 level cups of self-raising flour, which I've leveled off, and you can literally just shake it in, guys, or you can use a spoon, either or. So get in that sifted flour, which removes the lumps and aerates the mixture. Now, because it's self-raising flour, we don't need to add any baking powder to it. And if we were tailoring to celiac disease, we would use a gluten-free flour. We could use an oat flour. We could use a barley flour. There's lots of different types of buckwheat flour that you can use, almond flour. Lots of things you can use if you are tailoring for celiac disease. So remember, celiac disease is when you cannot process the gluten, which is the protein in flour or in wheat products. Alrighty, so we cannot process the gluten. Today we're using ordinary flour, however we could use any of those alternatives. The other thing, guys, when we're dealing with lactose intolerance, we can use any type of product such as a soy milk or an almond milk. Today I might use that just to make it a little bit more tasty. I like the almond, it just gives it a bit of a nuttier flavour. And we need to have 2/3 of a cup of milk. So obviously using our measuring jug, always have your measuring jug on the bench so that you can measure accurately. So 2/3 of a cup. Alrighty, for all our wet ingredients, we are always using our measuring jugs, and dry ingredients are using your cups. So we're going to gently sift the flour around the sides of the bowls and incorporate the mixture. I don't want to beat this too hard. I don't want to whip all of the air out of it. We want a nice, light, fluffy cake. So very gently, I'm just going around the edges and I'm folding that mixture through. I will now add my milk for the final stages of folding. And once we've incorporated the mixture, we are ready to put it into the pan. Okay, the mixture's lovely and incorporated now. I'm not going to over whip it. In it goes. This is the satisfying part. If you have a flexible spatula, it's a really good idea to go around the sides of the bowl and to get at all of that last little bits of ingredients. Okay, and then just on the top of the cake, using the back of the spoon or your spatula, you can just flatten it out. Okay, I can see that this cake mixture has actually lots of air bubbles in it, which I know means that it's going to rise well and keep it quite light in consistency. Those small little steps that we do along the way add to the end product. Okay guys, this is going to go into the oven for 40 to 45 minutes. I know it's done when you should be able to tell me that. I can press it and it will spring back. You won't leave a thumb mark in it. Or you can insert a skewer or a knife and it will come out clean. All right, let's see how it looks in 40 minutes. Okay guys, so as you can see, the cake's come out. It's golden on top, it's well risen. It's formed little cracks, but that's pretty normal in a cake. It did take 40 minutes. It didn't take anything more than that, so I did keep my eye on it at the end. Now to get it out, we just run our knife around the side of the tin to just make sure that the cake can come loose. And literally just a plate on top, and you can flip. Ta-da! Ta-da! And then you can put a chopping board or another plate on and you can flip it back over. Alrighty, so then you have your cake. And guys, it's a cake. You can get as creative as you like with this. So You know, it's Easter. You could make some little chocolate ganache with a bit of, you could do 250 grams of any type of chocolate with 250 ml of cream in a saucepan. Simmer that down and turn it into a beautiful chocolate ganache. Layer it up with a bit of chocolate shards that you can shave, some Easter eggs, make it really Eastery. Oh, yeah, you like the sound of that. You could toast some coconut and put that on top. You could do different coloured icings and you could swirl them through with a skewer to get that kind of... You could do sprinkles as well, Patty. So there's lots of different things you can do. Just here in one of my favourite cookbooks, there's some fantastic little pictures of cupcake decorations from Rocky Road. Do you? Yep, Maltesers chopped up, strawberries chopped in half. So lots of different ideas. You guys can Google heaps. My challenge to you is to create your own cake and decorate it. Take a picture, email it to me, tell me how you went. Make sure it has the creaming method in it, so you're incorporating that butter sugar by whipping it together. All right, let's get decorating. Okay guys, so I've made a buttercream here with 125 grams of butter mixed in with 1.5 cups of icing sugar. Obviously, my children wanted pink today, so we've made it pink. The buttercream is really thick, and you can just use the back of a spoon to then mix it around. Alrighty, yeah, you could just do a icing drizzle if you wanted to be a little less on the sugar content here. Alrighty, also with cakes, when you're baking, I always do take a little bit of the sugar out. If it asks for a cup of sugar, generally 3/4 of a cup is enough. Alrighty, you can dip your knife into some warm water as well, which will help you spread the icing around. And as you can see, I've suddenly got 2 little people here who are very interested. And they're going to help me decorate with some... Patty and Neve with some fresh cut strawberries. Yes, Neve.
That's a cake pink.
Yep, it's a pink cake. All right. So I'm just going to go and wet my knife and we'll finish off.
Okay.
Okay, guys, final product. Come on up and have a look. Obviously, these guys have done a really good job today. So well done. You guys need to rate it out of 20, like always in class. Just wanted to say that I hope you're all doing okay at home. Check in with your friends, make sure you're messaging people, maybe giving them a call. If you're feeling a little bit sad, a little bit down, a little bit confused about where you're meant to be at school and what you're meant to be doing, make sure you email your teachers, email me. You can even suggest what I might cook next for you. Alrighty, so guys, keep connected and remember we're all here for each other, especially your teachers. Alright, until the next one, we'll catch you later.